Let's do one more example. We want to figure out the LCD first. However, the LCD would not be all of these fractions, all of these denominators in these fractions, because some of them actually overlap. This one right here, I know, can be simplified. It's currently x squared minus 9. This is a difference of squares. So I actually can change this to become 8x squared over, and a difference of squares, x minus 3, x plus 3. And so now we know as our LCD, well, we have x plus 3, so that's taken care of, and x minus 3, x minus 3. So my LCD in this case would be x minus 3 times x plus 3. So I need to multiply both sides by that. So this is 6 over x minus 3 equals 8x squared over, you can leave it either way. It's going to be a lot easier if you leave it in the factored form, because then you can more easily see if something cancels out. Minus 4x over x plus 3. So I'm multiplying both sides here by the LCD. On the left side, we can see that an x minus 3 and an x minus 3 will be canceled out, leaving just 6 times the quantity x plus 3. This equals, all right, on the right side now, remember this is distributing to both things. So this time we're going to try to do it a little in our head so we don't have to rewrite the whole thing. If I think about taking x minus 3 times x plus 3 times this whole quantity here, the whole thing here, what would happen to the denominator and what I'm multiplying it by? All of that would cancel out. So I would just be left with 8x squared. Now again, thinking in our heads, if I'm taking this times this quantity here, what's going to happen with the x minus 3 and the x plus 3? Well, the x plus 3's will cancel out. And so I'll have minus 4x times whatever was left, which is x minus 3. So again, we already noticed that I have an x squared in the problem. I'm going to have to probably factor in a minute. Let's get everything to the same side, but start by distributing in both of these cases. So 6x plus 18 equals 8x squared minus 4x squared plus 12x. Let's move everything to the right side. Before I do that, actually, I want to combine these two like terms. So this is going to be 4x squared plus 12x, and again, this equals the same thing on the left. Move everything to the right side, subtract 6x, subtract 18. I end up with 0 on the left, and 4x squared plus 6x minus 18. First step in factoring every time is the GCF, greatest common factor. I noticed that I could take a 2 out of this. So I could take a 2 out of everything on the right side. So I will have 0 equals 2 times the quantity 2x squared plus 3x minus 9. Again, that's not necessary because our goal is not to factor, it's to solve for x, but you'll just have to work with bigger numbers if you don't do that. Now, what could I do with this 2? I could actually divide both sides by this 2 now, just to get rid of it. So on the right side it cancels, and technically speaking, 0 divided by 2, on the left side it cancels as well. So I will just be left with 0 equals 2x squared plus 3x minus 9. And so now I'll need to factor. Take the first thing times the last thing, a times c, so this is negative 18, and factors of that add up to be 3. So plugging in here, I could figure negative 3 and 6. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. Negative 3 plus 6 is going to give me a positive 3. Now, can I use my shortcut? No, because my a, the thing in front of the x squared, is not a 1. So I'll need to make this into 4 terms. 2x squared minus 3x plus 6x minus 9. Again, this is just replacing this 3x here, because really, if you look at it now, I haven't changed anything. I manipulated the equation, but if I were to add these two things together now, I would end up with what I just had. Split it down the middle, you have a 4 term. GCF on the left side is simply going to be x, so you'll have 2x minus 3. I know that this 2x minus 3 needs to be the same thing on the right, so I must have taken out a 3. So I write what is the same and the leftovers. Okay, and this is still equal to 0. Then I set each of my factors equal to 0. So 2x minus 3 equals 0, and x plus 3 equals 0. Add 3 to both sides. X equals 3, divide by 2, and x equals 3 halves. Over here, subtract 3 from both sides, x equals negative 3. And so there's my answer. Yes, that one took quite a while, and some of them will be a little bit longer than others. If you have any questions, please email them to me. This is page 593, 5 through 21. Odd. And 26 through 27.